What's up, y'all? Star. Okay, so for today's video, we're gonna talk about just like common questions that I get, like on videos that a video that I had posted on my TikTok, and a lot of people say like, "Oh, it's really nice to see a black girl who's a devotee." Because I had made a video talking about, I was like, "Where are all my African American brothers and sisters who work with Santísima Muerte? Like, where y'all at?" I don't really see us as much as I would like to see us. So that's the whole point of this channel too. It's not to exclude or to act like there's a separation in my Spanish brothers and sisters, or not even just Spanish, but Latinos, the Latino community in general. It's just to be an advocate and to be a voice and to show that, hey, we're out here. Because I know it can be challenging to embark on this journey. One, because there is oftentimes a language barrier. While I do speak un poquito español, I'm working on becoming muy fluentia in español. My Spanish is still, like, I can comprehend and I can have necessary conversations or like, common conversations. Being able to make a whole video in Spanish, I'm not there yet. So, this is just also to help aid in that and to be, like I said, an advocate for our community. That's it. That's all. That's the whole premise behind my name, aka the Black Devotee, but also my last name is Black. My name is Star Black. So there we have that. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So with common questions that I was getting, one I see all the time, how do I know that Santísima Muerte is reaching out to me? Who can work with her? How do I get into working with her? Questions that I had when I first started, and what caused me to have reservations for like an entire year before I decided to go the devotee route, was, what are the requirements? Like, what's the expectations? Like, am I signing myself up for death row records? Like, what's going on? You see the pun I threw in there, death row, holy death. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the first part of that. I'm not gonna lie, it's not on you, it's in you when it comes down to working with Santísima Muerte. Looking back on it, I have always had a fascination with skulls. And it's crazy because I grew up in a very Christian household. I'm trying to make this video not too long, but I grew up in an extremely Christian household. Like, my stepmom was a minister. I never forget, like I told y'all before, I thrifted a t-shirt and my stepmom told me I had to get rid of the t-shirt. I brought Harry Potter books home because in like the 5th grade, I love reading. I've always been an advanced and avid reader. And they told me that it was demonic. I could never go trick-or-treating, dress up for Halloween, like all that type of good jazz, right? But I've always had a fascination. Now, granted, I have never particularly cared for funerals, but I've always had this concept of death being a universal thing. One, because my parents, I'm the 7th child, my parents are older. People literally thought that my parents were my grandparents. So, I just always had this idea that I was going to be in school one day and I was going to get a call that like my mom or my dad died, because I just knew that they were old, and I just had that idea of death, and I just came to terms with it really, really early. So like, I never had a fear of death. If anything, not saying that I welcomed it, but like, I just understood that it was just like a universal thing. Like, we're human, we are born. It's only like three things in life that are absolutely guaranteed, and was really 2 things, because not everybody has the privilege of being born, right? Which is why life is so sacred, because the fact that we are living, that, and we're human at that, that's an anomaly within itself. We're an anomaly, you're an anomaly watching this, but death is inevitable for human beings, for any living being, including plants, including organisms. It's just the cycle. Our cells in our body literally have a cycle that they regenerate, and they go through the process of death. It's just inevitable. So that was one thing. So when I say it's in you, it's not on you, like, I was always fascinated with darker things as well. Like, even though I don't like funerals, I loved anatomy and physiology. I loved not the smell of formaldehyde, but it didn't bother me. So like, I even wanted, and I still kind of do want to become a mortician. Yeah, so I just always kind of had a fascination for that type of thing. So it doesn't surprise me that now I'm a devotee of Santísima Muerte. With that being said, that is not for everybody. That energy is not for everyone. Granted, I don't feel like her energy is like evil. You know, some people will describe her energy as warm or something like I'm not gonna lie, I always know when Santísima Muerte is present because I actually get colder. And I'm already a cold natured person, but like I will kind of get chills, or and it's not scary chills, it's just kind of like a, you know, when you feel a breeze come in, you just kind of get like chills up your back. Like I know that. I know when she's present, my nose will start itching. Just little little things like that. But one thing for me was that I was not aware of her until I was exposed to her, and I automatically was intrigued by her. So I would say that's one way you will know, because you will have an interest for it. Like you will have an automatic knack for it. Like it will resonate with you. Now, just because something resonates with you, do I just automatically say jump off the deep end and become a devotee? No. Just because you want to research. You want to research it. Does this apply to you? Does this apply to who you are as a person? You know, she's really for the individuals who are quote unquote rejects of society. And understanding kind of like the parameters of how she works. Some people don't believe in Jesus, don't believe in Christ, don't believe in God. I find it hard to be a devotee of Santísima Muerte and not believe in God. Why? Because she's literally like the root of her origins it stems from Catholicism. So even when you think about the premise of our rosary, we're giving honor to God. You know, we're saying our holies, Hail Marys, we're saying glory bees, you know, like the whole premise, like I said, is rooted in Catholicism, and it has a lot of still like Catholic origin, Catholic roots, which is based, you know, a variation of Christianity in itself. So that may not resonate with other people. And I think that that will kind of be disrespectful to think that, oh, you can work with her and then not believe in God, or like not believe in a higher power. You know, like I don't really think like for instance, like an atheist would resonate with working with Santísima Muerte, because she literally is like a kind of like how Archangel Michael's like a soldier for God. She's, you know, an assistant to God as well, in the form of being I'm gonna say like a gatekeeper to death, but being the representation or embodiment of death itself, right? Which is a part of creation, right? Is a part of that cycle. So I would say that's one way that you'll know. Of course, some people will say that they see her in dreams. Some people, I've only dreamed of her like once or twice, so she doesn't really come to me via dreams. I think I've had 2 dreams of her. She doesn't really come to me via dreams. For me, ravens or crows were big, like birds. I'm a bird lover in general, but ravens and crows specifically. Owls, I never used to see owls, and then I would see owls in like broad daylight. Like that's the thing. And some people will view that as like a bad omen and shit like that, but like during my journey I didn't view it as a bad omen. I just view it as like a synchronicity. So owls, and for me, like I would see bumper stickers of literally the Grim Reaper figure, or like skulls or stuff like that everywhere. Like it was just like on that, and I mean still to this day. But that's how I know. And I'm talking about, it would be like blatant, like on random shit. Like I'll be walking downtown and I'll see it like on a light pole. Like what the fuck? Or like I was like yesterday I went to the store when I was picking up her offerings and stuff like that for All Saints Day. It was this fat ass skeleton figure, and it was just like, it was waving. It was like this right here. And the car wasn't there when I went into the store, but when I came out and I'm like fastening my seatbelt, I'm fastening my seatbelt and I'm like backing out, and I look, and there it is, just. And I was like, oh my God. So you'll see stuff like that to me. That's how you start knowing, like you'll pick up on signs. At least for me, I started seeing just repetitive signs. And you have to understand how the brain works too, because the more you look for something, the more it pops up as well. So just having a certain level of discernment, it's like, you know, you can kind of tell when it's just kind of like somebody just has that on their shirt, versus like it being, you were just thinking about her, or you said a prayer or something like that, or you gave offering and then turn around and boom, that's like literally the first thing you see. That's how you'll start knowing that she's acknowledging you, and reaching out to, and you know, now we're developing this dialogue, and now we're developing and cultivating a relationship, and now I'm able to pick up with signs of synchronicities. Now, moving on. Another thing that people would ask me is, or like I would see, um, how would you get started? Is, I mean, if this is the path that you want to take and the route that you want to take, I would say, first things first, start reading. And like I say, reading, understanding, familiarizing yourself with the energy. These are two books. I've read many books, but these are just two books that I purchased. And I think these are very common books. You'll see them all the time. The Holy Bible Death. This is like a real good, this is like a starter one. I actually just got this one recently. And this is like generic, not to say generic spells, but what I like about it is specifically in the back, it has the rosary. It also has the novena, which it's just real simple and easy to follow along when you're talking about developing a practice and staying consistent with the practice. And then also it breaks down the imagery. So like talking about the scythe, talking about why she stands on the globe, her cloak, the owl. These are all important things that you need to know about her. So this one is a really good book for that one. This one dives a little bit deeper in the history of Santísima Muerte, where she comes from, Aztec culture. And this one dives really, really deep into her robes, the colors of the robes. So I think like these are two, if you're like interested in starting, this one is by Tracy Rowland. This one is by S. Paulo. These are two good starter books. These are starter pieces. For me now, I'm more on like a scholarly journey. So like I'm actually diving deeper into the culture itself, peer review articles, dissertations, stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that I'm getting into now. But everybody has to start somewhere. And this is what this video is for. Like if you're looking to get into it, especially when you're talking about the language barrier, two good starter pieces right here. You can get them online. You can get them in Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. Well, you know, we're not really fucking with Amazon right now, but it is what it is. Now moving on to offerings. How do I know that my offerings are accepted? How do I know what works, what doesn't work? You know, people will tell you to give like wine, roses, depending on various aspects that you want to work with. You know, they'll say give different things depending on the robe. For me, I had to just trial and error. Like this is just me giving it to you raw and uncut. Trial and error. For me personally, I would give her roses and the roses would die. My roses, whenever I give her roses, they don't typically last long. The same thing as if I give her green apples versus red apples. Red apples, I have given her these. I guarantee these red apples that I put on this altar will, I'm talking about, these will damn near stay on here a month. And they will be in pristine condition. They will not have rotten spots on them. Obviously, when that starts to happen, then you know that she has used it and or something has absorbed some type of negative energy. Throw it away, cleanse the space, and keep it pushing. But I learned via trial and error. I learned that for me, red apples work better than green apples. When I put green apples on there, they rot faster. I learned for me when it comes down to cups of coffee, I don't need to be giving Santa Muerte no damn coffee if I'm not going to sit down and drink it with her. How did I find out? One, the coffee wouldn't have like you'll notice it, like it'll have a ring around it, like a dry ring. It's almost like it's, you know, evaporated, of course, but it will just go down. And for me, I won't have that like white crusty film on it, like almost like moldy looking film. When I give her big cups of coffee, I'll always get that. Or if I just like give her coffee and I don't sit down and drink it with her, I will always get that. For water, same thing. I just, you know, like I just put this water there yesterday and it's already gone down some. I mean, like it was filled to the brim. Same thing with the Bacardi, the rum. It's already gone down a good amount. And I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. This is like what I'm talking about with the ring around the coffee. I hope you can see. Hope you can see this. I'm recording on my iPhone, so. But anyway, you'll just know that it just looks used. Like it just looks like it's absorbed. Candy, I just leave candy, chocolate up there. That's not really something that you see if it's being, you know, she likes it or she doesn't like it. But for me, I learned that even though she likes tequila, I get best results with rum. when I offer her rum versus if I offer her tequila or red wine. Again, going back to the roses, for me, I don't know what you call those flowers that look like the little pom-poms, but she loves those. Will stay on there so long. I'm talking about like the flowers itself will still look fresh, but the stem will literally have rotten or growing mold on it. Sunflowers, she loves sunflowers for me. She loves a little pom-pom flower, that's what I call them. Tobacco, Bacardi. But how did I learn these things? I just, I listened to what I was read, and I would, whenever, I had the resources or the means, I would offer them. And then, I would just try different things. Like with flower and floral arrangements, sometimes the store didn't have roses. So that's when I would pick up those. And then I just started observing, paying attention, just like what anything else when you are dating someone, for instance, right? Like over time, you pick up on their habits, you pick up on, signs about what they like and what they don't like by you noticing either they don't finish the food, they don't ever order something, or, whatever the case may be, they make it very, very known, like, oh, I love pink. So that's my favorite color. So that's the way to understand about offerings and knowing about if your offerings are accepted. You can always tell a lot by your water as well. If your water has like flies, gnats, just say thank you. She's caught something. Sometimes it's just a gnat in the house, it falls in there, but typically bugs are not associated. Bugs, I don't want to like denounce them because especially when you're talking about like baneful workings, they serve a great purpose. I use even some bugs in my money workings. That's neither here nor there. Specifically flies, roaches, and shit like that. Like if something like that in there, go take a spiritual bath like today, like now. I ain't never seen a roach in my water though. I've seen gnats. Never seen like witches like baby flies. I've never seen like an actual big fly in mine either. But my water will get murky. I have had that where I'm talking about you put out fresh water and it get murky extremely quick. It just look dirty as hell. Like, yeah, type shit. Those are just common questions that I would get about like, how do I know my offerings are being accepted? How do I know that she wants to work with me? And yeah. Who can work with her? Anybody. Anybody can technically work with her because like I said, death comes for us all. It's not really like she's segregating out here. Hello. But I would just keep that in mind if you're interested in working with her and maybe you have a little bit of conflict of interest because working with her, it does have Christianity in its roots. So just keep that in mind. I think that's all for this video. Catch you on the flip side.